St. John Sheriff's Office search for any sign of a missing couple, 34-year-old Kenneth and 29-year-old Lakeitha Joseph.
The Marine unit heads to the location first and recover what they call the worst one yet. When Detective Vaught arrives to the scene, they inform him that it's been there a while. The victim is unrecognizable. The wildlife in the water got to it. But from what they can see, it's a woman. They also notice blue rope and see a tattoo with the name Ken on her back. So they're wondering if this has to do with the missing person case. So they wrap that scene up, head back to the station. Detective Vaught then calls the detective working the missing person case, and they asked did the woman have any tattoos. They said yes, she had the name Ken on her back. So Vaught let them know that's her. She's identified as Lakeitha Joseph, 29 years old, spent a year in the Navy, left because of a fear of water. She was married to Kenneth Joseph for 10 years. They also tell Vaught the couple's van was found in Atlanta 9 days after they disappeared. Red was found inside, matching Kenneth and Lakeitha. Then they give Vaught a name Horatio, a cousin of Kenneth. They had an issue over money. The DEA called the detectives and said Kenneth had a large amount of money in his house. The detectives working the missing person case also told Vaught some new information today. The couple's van was seen at a hotel 3 days before it was dumped in Atlanta.
The van was seen at one of the hotels. We can get with that hotel. Put up on the video.
Vaught gets the video and starts reviewing it. He spots the van. He sees a guy driving the van wearing a striped shirt. So he looks at the hotel counter video, sees a guy wearing similar clothing check in. Vaught then checks the hotel guest log to see the name Frank Mike around the same time. He's 45 years old, prior convictions for dealing at work. His address is also 3 miles from where Lakeitha was found. Then Vaught gives another call. When Vaught arrived to this scene, it's Kenneth Joseph. They find a kettlebell and blue rope, the same rope found at Lakeitha's scene. So now it's a double. So they head out to snatch Frank Mike up. No one's home, but they do their search and find nothing. They release the information to the news.
Police searched this gutted home inside and out in New Orleans East, looking for any evidence connected to Kenneth and Lakeitha Joseph.
After Aaron, Frank Mike calls and agrees to talk. He said the van was parked in the back driveway with keys in it. Then his nephew, Stephen Bradley, a.k.a. Future, called and said they pulled a move off in the van, but that he could use it if he needed to. So he goes to Atlanta to pick up some merchandise in the van and sees the van on the news. After that, he took it back where he got it from, but he doesn't know what they done. So Vaught charged Frank Mike with transporting a stolen vehicle across state lines. Then he looks up Stephen Bradley, a.k.a. Future, 28 years old, prized for possessing work and armed all. He has a court date coming up, so they'll wait to catch Future then. In the meantime, they check stores for the kettlebell and rope, find the exact kettlebell and rope along with a credit card transaction around the time they believe the couple went missing. The purchaser's signature is Brittany Martin. So they head back to the station, enter Brittany into the computer. She's the girlfriend of Horatio, the first name that came up in the investigation, which is Kenneth's cousin. So they look up Horatio. He's 37 years old, served 17 of a 35-year sentence for slaughter. Brittany worked at the prison as a CO and was fired for being involved with Horatio. So they check the store video, see Brittany and Horatio enter the store, buy the items, which Horatio made sure he didn't touch anything. So they set out to find Brittany, locate her in a white Infiniti.
Hello, Miss Martin.
Can you get off the phone and talk to me for a second?
I'm talking to my lawyer. You have to hold 1 second, please. Why are you placing me under arrest right now?
No, you're not under
You
arrest.
said no, I'm not under arrest right now.
So they asked Brittany to step out the car and talk to them. She gets out, goes to the detective's car. Then they tell her that this is about the M. She states it's a sad situation, then asks the detectives, are people saying my name is involved? Vought said yes, and it's not what they're saying, but what I saw. At that point, Brittany lawyered up. So Brittany leaves. They don't have enough yet for the warrants. So they head to the courthouse to see if Future shows up. He does, and they snatch him up, start interviewing Future. Vought lets him know his name came up in a double M. Future says he's not a rat, but feels he's being played. He said Horatio brought the van to him and said get rid of it. That's what he did. He took it to Frank Mike and told him to dispose of it. Then he said after he dropped the van off, Brittany and Horatio picked him up. Vought then asked Future, did you help dispose the evidence? Future says he needs to call a lawyer, then he'll come back and clear things up. So they release Future. Now they have enough to obtain warrants for Horatio and Brittany. The U.S. Marshals get Brittany and Horatio. They come to the St. John Sheriff's Department. Brittany refused to speak. She was charged with 2 counts of second-degree M. Then they head in there to speak with Horatio.
Spell your first name for me.
You asking questions that you didn't answer to already.
My home address.
The same one you have on file already, Mr. Moore. You know what? I need a lawyer present.
They tell him he's charged with 2 counts of second-degree M. Then Vox get a witness that says Future has been telling him what's been going on. He states Future and Horatio took the couple to a recording studio where he said Horatio was like an animal in there. Then Brittany walks in and she lost it, screaming, went nuts, horrified. So apparently she was clueless about what was going on. Horatio told Future to get rid of the van when it was over. Then detectives asked, do you know what it was over? He said a lot of cash, couple $100,000. So they wrap that up and head over to the studio where the incident happened. When they enter the studio, it's been redone. New floors, fresh paint on the walls, so they'll get nothing from that scene. But now they know Future is more involved. So they head back to the station. Future calls and agree to come talk. They start by telling Future that they know about the studio. Future say he doesn't want to discuss that, but he'll take his lick for what he did. So he asks for a cigarette. Then Future says he's done talking. So they charge Stephen Bradley 2 counts of second-degree M. He is currently waiting trial.
I think it's just a hard hurdle for him to get across, to admit that he was actually part of such a act on the Josephs.
Brittany eventually received a 10-year sentence with 5 being suspended for obstruction after she turned on the other defendants. They dismissed the other charges. Horatio was sentenced to life plus 60. Stephen, a.k.a. Future, was found not guilty of second-degree M, but guilty of conspiracy to obstruct and obstruction of justice. Because of New Orleans' habitual offender law, he received 70 years. Frank Mike received 9 years for obstruction of justice. Thank you for watching. Leave me some comments. Hit that like button. Stay safe out there. I'm done talking.
I think this couple had money in their home. The plan was to get said money and then do away with the couple.